Stay tuned and let's check out this Marvel Legends Deluxe M.O.D.O.K. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and you can now hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Quite simply show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. And doesn't it feel good to be reviewing some new Marvel Legends? It feels like it's been so long, and I'm very happy to have on the table today this massive deluxe M.O.D.O.K, a character that I've been wanting for our new updated Marvel Legends shelves. The Toy Biz one stood the test of time. Honestly, it holds up still, but have Hasbro finally knocked it off the shelf and the display? I think so, and we'll talk about that as we open him up. So this is in the new style packaging at this new price point, so I'm very curious to see what other figures Hasbro release at this price point as the year goes on. But M.O.D.O.K's the first one, so no window box packaging, we're just getting a character image on the front, and I think this is a picture or a graphic of the figure as well. We see M.O.D.O.K there. If we spin it around, we're seeing a picture of M.O.D.O.K on the side, but my table's not big enough to show you that, but it's there, trust me. On the back of the box, we're getting more images of the actual figure as well. This is the size, 8.47 inches. These are some of the gimmicks that come with it. The blast effect, he's got hands, a handle, yeah, interchangeable parts. As you can see, two face plates on there. This looks good. There's also a little bio that reads: the freak product of intense scientific experiment, the living computer M.O.D.O.K now sits atop a vast empire of criminal co-conspirators bent on world domination. Sorry, that just made me want to laugh like an evil villain. But yeah, it's true. M.O.D.O.K's a crazy robot, ugly robot, and even though he's a big ugly beast, I'm happy to add him to the display. So let's get this open, shall we? So I've not actually seen anyone open this on screen yet, because I don't know how it's all set up inside. So I'm literally keeping the camera on, and we're going to do it together. So let's just cut the side and see how it looks. So no window box means we don't get to see what it looks like inside, but I'm assuming it's on trays. Oh, pieces falling out, that's fine. Okay, let's see what we got here. So we got, oh, let me move the box out the way. So we got two trays, some pieces have already fell out, that's absolutely fine. So it does seem like some assembling are required, and this guy looks massive. So I'm not gonna be an idiot and try and do this on camera. I'm gonna cut off, and then a bit of movie magic. I'll be back. Pow! So here we have M.O.D.O.K all built up. The mechanicalized organism designed only for killing is of course M.O.D.O.K, and yeah, this guy's a beast. So there's his interchangeable faceplate and some interchangeable hands. The rest is part of building this guy. So if I spin him around real quick, this guy is massive, much bigger than I expected, and I do think this is going to fit much better into the aesthetic of our sort of updated Hasbro Marvel Legends collections. The Toy Biz one held up for a long time, but I do think this will look a lot nicer amongst your modern day collection, in my opinion, of course, but each to their own. I don't even have the Toy Biz one, so no comparison in this video, unfortunately, but we will take a good look at this one. So I'll zoom in, we will check out some of these details, but let's measure it up first. Let me see if I've got my tape measure here, because this guy is pretty big. So the box said he's like 8.4 something, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. To the top of the head, it is probably about 8.4, just under 8.5. So yeah, very big. And that is why we get this new price point. As I said, I'm curious for what else we will get at this price point. Maybe a watcher, who knows, we shall see. There's his jazz hands. There's his little baby feet. So it reminds me of a baby sitting in a high chair. There's his little handle, which is articulated as well. But yeah, let me zoom in. Let's check all this out. Let's start off with this big, ugly mug. Look at that. Only a face a mother could love. Look at it. Yeah, it's big, it's creepy, it's disgusting. It's got some really nice paint detail in the flesh tone as well. So it's not like flat, it's got a lot of detail to it, which I'm glad at. This price point, we should have that. The eyes are whited out a little bit, but they seem to have pupils in there if we look really closely. I'm not too sure how you can see them under the light, but there is like a blue sort of pupil, maybe I'm making that up, I'm not too sure. I like his headband. This is all sculpted detail again, bit of red and pink here at the top, and yeah, this is good. So let me see how this faceplate works. So this is the first face, just normal, stern, ugly M.O.D.O.K, and apparently you can just grab the face and pull it out. And that was nice and simple. And now we have a faceless M.O.D.O.K. And then the interchangeable face, there it is. Let's just plug that in. So that is simple. Just going to plug in like that. And there you go. It fits nice and snug, to be fair. There you go. And now we have our creepy, freaked out, angry M.O.D.O.K. I like the mouth here. You can see the tongue painted, the teeth as well. That's all sculpted nicely. The expression, again, is really nice. So, yeah, either or. These are some great head sculpts. Look at that. Disgusting. And they could have just given us one. They didn't have to give us both. So I do like this gimmick of unplugging it and putting another one in. And it's quite, like, firm in there. Do you know, like, it's not going to fall out. Look at that. If I tip that, that face isn't falling out. It's nice and snug, fits good, and even swapping them around, they're not loose at all. They will... Wow, okay. Maybe I've loosened it up. Yeah, okay. Well, now we know, don't we? But yeah, that one's a lot looser than this one. This one's a lot snugger. That one feels tight, where this other one, this sad face, not as snug. But still, now we know. And while we're still on the faces, apparently you can store the other one in the harness. So see the seam there? You just get a grip of that and you can open it up. And then I'm assuming we just put this head in there maybe, or maybe that way around. I'm not too sure which way around, to be fair. And we put this back on. Is it that simple? Does that fit? There you go, that clipped back together. So now you can hear it rattling around, unfortunately, but it is in there, so you don't have to lose it. I'm assuming we could put the extra hands in there as well. So yeah, there is storage on the side on that seam. Just got to make sure it's squeezed together. So there you go. His head, second head is in there. So there, as I said, there's his jazz hands. Let's swap them real quick. So the second set of hands are a fist and then a grip for this handle here, this little controller. So I'm assuming that can hold that. So there we have the hand holding the controller. And as I said, that controller is on a ball joint. So you do have a bit of wiggle room there, dependent on the arm articulation. And the arm articulation is pretty good. You've got a shoulder sort of hinge there. So there you go, back and forth. As I said, you can spin that all the way around. And then there is a single joint at the elbow. So a little bit of movement for a bit of expression, which is pretty good. You can get him waving his fist in anger at all the AIM soldiers. But yeah, you can get his hand on his lap or resting on the side here. So yeah, the articulation is appreciated. The same with the feet. Now the legs just sort of plugged into here. And they have a double joint at the knee, so we can straighten these out. So M.O.D.O.K can kick people, I suppose. There is a hinge, and is it an ankle pivot? Maybe. Yeah, there does seem to be an ankle pivot. Yeah, there you go. So there's double jointed knees, a hinge at the foot, and then also an ankle pivot. So you don't want M.O.D.O.K standing on his walker, but he could, I guess, maybe. But yeah, there you go. There's his legs. As I said, it reminds me of a baby in a high chair, but his legs just dangle against the top there. So let's zoom in again and check out some of these details. So I like the sort of voice thing at the front there. Nice little touch. As I said, I've already mentioned the band at the top is all sculpted with a little detail of the red and going into the pink. Going round to the back. Now the rest is just all sculpted with the gold, sort of like a honeycomb sort of look to it, bit of a bronze mixed in with the gold. And this is meant to be metal, so I don't mind the marbling. Like, there is a little bit of marbling here, but that's just the injection of this plastic from the factory. But when it's meant to represent metal, I actually think it adds to the look. So the marbling effect is never something that personally bothered me, especially when it's meant to be looking like it's metal. So I don't mind the light shining on that and seeing a few swirls and whatever. These lines here, these jagged lines and circles all do seem to be painted the sort of bronze, and then there is some shadowing here in these sculpted details, and all of this is sculpted, like you can feel it. The hair, it's got some detail in it as well, some browns and lighter browns. And then moving down, this bottom piece is like a darker sort of gold, if you will, and then it goes into this piece at the bottom. So this piece is all separate. You can unplug this from the figure, and it's on a ball joint, and there is also a swivel there. So there's one swivel there, and then there's another swivel there, there's another swivel there, another, yeah, so there's like 3 swivels, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, there's the articulation there. So you could literally have him spinning or whatever you want to do, but he will spin all the way around. But yeah, some buttons over here as well, just notice that. All of that is sculpted in there. Same with some shadow in there on these effects. As I said, the handle's a nice touch as well. And yeah, that head, this head's a lot snugger than the other one. That one's the one that doesn't fall out. The other one slips out a little bit. But yeah, big ugly mug. Yeah, this head is massive. The figure is much bigger than I expected it to be, but I'm very impressed. Now, obviously, in regards to comparisons, I don't have the Toy Biz one, which would be the perfect comparison, of course. But from pictures and my knowledge of Marvel Legends, it held up for a long time and still will look great in your collection. But I do think this new M.O.D.O.K will aesthetically fit and just look more pleasing to the eye, shall we say, amongst the sort of modern Hasbro era. I do genuinely think this is an upgrade compared to the Toy Biz version, and anyone wanting a M.O.D.O.K for them shelf will not be disappointed with this guy. This guy is very nice, and again, there's the flame effects, bit of orange to red, and again, you can unplug this. This is on a ball joint. I think I've plugged it in pretty tight. But that comes out there, and then that's a ball joint in there, but I've put it in quite tight. But yeah, it all fits together nice and snugly. Very happy with this. Let's get some AIM soldiers on the go. So as the mastermind behind Advanced Ideas Mechanics, of course we need to see how M.O.D.O.K looks compared to some AIM soldiers. So here we have a mix of AIM soldiers from the single packs and the 2 packs, and even way back to the Mandroid Build-A-Figure. But yes, we have been waiting for an updated M.O.D.O.K to flank these soldiers, or to have these soldiers flank him on your display. And this is definitely going to be a good year if you're an AIM fan, as in the Bring on the Bad Guys wave, we are also getting the Scientist Supreme to sort of lead the AIM soldiers with M.O.D.O.K. So yeah, definitely going to have to make some space on the shelf now for an AIM display, and I do have a few more AIM soldiers to sort of boost my ranks, if you will. But I do think the size of M.O.D.O.K is great. Like, look how thick he is compared to a normal Marvel Legend, and tall. Like, the AIM soldier is quite a tall guy anyway with his Bumblebee helmet, and he only comes up to sort of the eye of M.O.D.O.K. So yeah, M.O.D.O.K is a lot taller and a lot wider, and yeah, with some AIM soldiers flanking him, he's definitely going to look intimidating on the shelf. So yeah, looking forward to that Scientist Supreme now and getting some more AIM soldiers. But yeah, I'm going to have to definitely find some space on the shelf because he's so big. He's going to take up a bit of real estate, but in a good way. He's going to stand out for sure. But yeah, get some AIM soldiers. How many AIM soldiers do you have in your collection? Let me know in the comments below. And just to show I'm not biased to any evil criminal organisation, here we have a comparison with a Hydra head honcho, and it is, of course, Atom Zola. And this was quite a big, chunky figure as well at the time, especially compared to a normal Legend figure. But look how small he looks compared to M.O.D.O.K. Like, there's no comparison. M.O.D.O.K looks massive compared to Atom Zola there. So yeah, just another example of size. Look at that. Crazy how big M.O.D.O.K is. Yeah, gonna look imposing on the shelf, looking good. Here's a bit of a throwback comparison, because here we have the Mandroid Build-A-Figure from way back in 2014, and even he is shorter than M.O.D.O.K. Now, of course, M.O.D.O.K is on the sort of flight stand, well, not flight stand, but sort of fire stand, if you will, and you can unplug that, and I'm sure he would stand just on his metal base. I think I should probably try that before we finish this review. But with that flame effect on, he's definitely even taller than a Mandroid. And I just wanted to confirm that yes, if you don't want to use the stand with the flame effect on, M.O.D.O.K will balance just on his own there, and this, as I said, is a ball peg that you just stick on top. So if you don't want to use the fire effect, then M.O.D.O.K will sort of stand on his own on that bottom piece. Probably won't stand on his feet though, will he? M.O.D.O.K running away, that wouldn't be a good look. But yeah, if you don't want to use it without the stand, you don't have to. And for our very last comparison, here we have his on-screen debut. It is, of course, Hellfire Dan. And as you can see, even he is really short compared to M.O.D.O.K. And if I could do some stop motion, people, I really would, because that would be fun. But not going to happen, unfortunately. But expect to see a lot more of Hellfire Dan here on the channel very soon. But yeah, looking good. So, final thoughts. I genuinely think this M.O.D.O.K looks great. I think it exceeds our expectations of what Hasbro are going to deliver. A lot of people thought the bar was raised really high by the Toy Biz version with all the paint details and articulation that guy had. But I do think this one is definitely our new winner. This is the M.O.D.O.K you want on your shelf. If you still have sentimental feeling with the Toy Biz one, that's fine. Still a great figure for its time. But the upgrade is here, people, and it's definitely worth your investment. Definitely an upgrade to your aim display, that is for sure. So you let me know in the comments below, did you have the previous M.O.D.O.K? Is this an upgrade for your shelf? Are you skipping it? Are you excited for it? Always curious to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But you know me, always happy to add new legends to the shelf, people. And if you like Marvel Legends, then you are in the right place, and you want to support the channel, then do this one thing. Please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. You can also now hit that join button on the channel and become a channel member as well. Quite simply show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. And if you really want to help me out, you can follow me on Instagram at itsdanwho and help me reach 10k. So very nearly there. But as always, people, my name is Dan W, and I will, of course, see you on the next one.